Hey guys, it's Ilgamesh. Today I'm here to talk to you about the new Rogue Mists of Pandaria talents. Basically today I'm going to be going over what the new talent system is, what the new talents are, and what new abilities we're going to have. Now, the first thing I want to go ahead and talk about is that the talent system has changed quite a bit. Basically the way the talent system now works is that every 15 levels you get to choose from 1 out of 3 talents, and you can only choose 1. You can't choose 2 and sacrifice 1 tier. You actually have to choose only 1. It actually really sucks. I'll explain a little bit more later why. Now, the first tier will be with, of course, Night Stalker, Subterfuge, and Shadow Focus. Night Stalker, it's kind of meh. It just increases your stealth walk speed by 20%. Subterfuge makes it so that your stealth won't break for 3 seconds after dealing damage or receiving damage when you're in stealth. Now that's pretty good, but then there's also the last one, which is the one that I'm probably going to take. It's called Shadow Focus. Shadow Focus makes it so that none of your abilities cost energy while you're stealth. This means you get a free opener every single time. So yeah, to me it's pretty good. It gives you that extra energy bonus that you wouldn't have had otherwise. We'll talk a little bit more about why you need that. Now, next here we have Deadly Throw, Nerve Strike, and Combat Readiness. Deadly Throw is something that I'm really sad I have to choose between because it is an ability that we have had since BC, and it is a very nice ability. But then you look at Nerve Strike, which is kind of a throwaway. Basically, after Cheaper Kidney, your opponent deals 50% less damage for 6 seconds, which you don't really care about, compared to Combat Readiness, which is still a 2-minute cooldown, but it can be a nice shield wall. So they're making you choose between a way to stop, someone from running away, or to get that killing blow, or survivability, which is kind of a crappy move. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you look at Combat Readiness, it doesn't say that it shares a CD right now with Cloak. So if it doesn't share a CD, then you're damn right that I'm going to sit down and get Combat Readiness instead of Deadly Throw, because it's going to give us this ability that we're really going to need this expansion, especially with the lower health pools. Now, the next tier I really don't like too much. This is, of course, tier 4? No, 3. Tier 3. Basically, it's Cheat Death, Leeching Poison, and Improved Recuperate. Cheat Death makes it so it's the same as it is now. I honestly don't like Cheat Death as much as I used to back in the day. Reason being, you can still get 1 hit out of, you can just still get 1 hit after Cheat Death procs. Just because a dot might pull you over and then they'll just finish you off. Because it's the whole, it doesn't take you below, it doesn't bring you back up to 10% max health. It instead just says, oh, you're about to die, and just protects what you would have left. So it's like if you have 1k health left and then you get a killing blow on you, then instead you get 1k still, but you get it at a 90% reduced damage, and then you normally die right afterwards. It's a mad talent right now, and it will be then. Leeching Poison coats your weapons with a poison that lasts for 1 hour. Subsequent weapon strikes against the poison target will heal you for 10% of the damage dealt. I really don't care about that one. I really don't. Reason being that there are better poisons to use. And then Improved Recuperate, which is the thing that I'm really going to be picking up myself. The reason why is because it's only a 1% increase to max health, but it reduces all damage by 6%. That's the big thing, is that 6% adds up after a while. It's a lot better than the other things. The 10%, healing damage, you can ask Shadow Priests and Warlocks just how awesome that is. It's okay, but it's not, game-changing. 6% damage with that additional recoup heals is going to be a lot better. Now, for probably the most controversial tier, which is why I was kind of jumping forward to talk about it earlier, tier 4, the 60 tier, it makes you choose between Prep, Shadow Step, and Burst of Speed. Now, without Prep, we actually lose a bit of survivability and utility. Overall, it's one of our big, in the whole cooldown. A lot of rogues have been using prep since vanilla. Personally, I have since vanilla. I used to run a Seal Fate prep spec back in vanilla. I ran Adrenaline Rush prep during seasons 1 and 2, and then in season 3 when they nerfed mace stuns, I went subtlety. And then I always ran with prep every single time, because the double vanish, what will be a double cloak, now they're gonna build in the double bombs, the double dismantles. They're giving us evasion back on prep, which is really nice. Which means I really don't know what the glyph of prep is gonna do anymore, because like I think you get kick, and that's the only extra thing you'll really get from then on. But that's going to be a really, really big cooldown. Now, the thing that's really irking me is that I really love Shadow Step. I've played sub since season 5, well, technically season 3, but I played sub all throughout Wrath. While playing Mutilate, I BG'd as subtlety for fun. I arenaed with Mutilate to do carries real quick to 1800 for people to get their weapons. But I've always loved Shadow Step ever since I started using it back in BC. And making a sub-rogue sacrifice that Shadow Step for its prep, when it's in the same talent tree normally, is kind of a dick move, Blizzard. Actually, it's really a dick move. You're making a tree choose between 2 of its own moves. It's one or the other. And now the final talent is, of course, Burst of Speed. Now with Burst of Speed, what's going on is that it gives you a immunity and a break from movement impairing effects, gives you 70% speed, only for 4 seconds though, and you can still get snared. So, in all honesty, not the best ability. Yeah. Great choices there, Blizz. Now, the next tier is Deadly Brew, Paralytic Poison, and Dirty Tricks. Deadly Brew is great, but if you weapon swap macro, you can still do Deadly Brew. You can still act like you had Deadly Brew up. It's just a little bit more work with the shivs. Paralytic Poison, honestly, if it's going to be DRing with the rest of your stuns, it's going to be completely useless. Basically what it does is that you get a 1-hour poison every time that you hit with a weapon. It has a chance of applying the poison. On the 5th time you put it up, then it stuns the person for 4 seconds. Could be okay, but the problem is that it could DR off your stuns. If it was DRing off itself, maybe I might use it, but honestly what I'm looking forward to is Dirty Tricks. Basically it makes it so that Gouge and Blind no longer have an energy cost, and they don't break from bleeds or poisons. Bleeds or poisons. That's what I'm looking forward to. Finally, we get the most lackluster final tree ever. We get to choose between Killing Spree, Shadow Dance, or Vendetta. Killing Spree, basically the same, except you can spam the crap out of this button for the first 5 seconds of its activation. And as many times as you can spam the crap out of that button, you get to teleport that many times. Yeah. I see some crazy. Next is Shadow Dance, exactly the same as it was. There's no changes to it. Vendetta, on the other hand, really looks good. 20% extra damage like it is right now, but it allows you to use something called Vengeful Strikes. What Vengeful Strikes do is that it marks a target, and when you pay 30 energy, you can deal 100% weapon damage or 145% weapon damage with a dagger to hit someone within 30 yards and generate a combo point. That means that if you are getting kited by a mage and you have no cloak, no bomb, no nothing, you can pop Vendetta and start spamming these Vengeful Strikes to get your recoup back up. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty awesome, honestly. With all the new talent changes, the way that it's looking is that they're going to force us to become Mutilate rogues. The reason why is because literally No new abilities of subtlety. When assassination gets a lackluster execute, it's called dispatch. Basically what dispatch does is that whenever whenever someone is below, I think, let's see here, 35% health, it allows you to backstab them without having to be behind them. That's really what it is, Blizzard. It's backstab with no movement requirement. That's it. It's just murderous intent. Except you only have to have the 30, not the 60 energy with the 30 energy refund like it is right now. That with Vendetta popped could more than likely global people if they're talking about bringing it back to wrath damage, but the problem is that Blizzard isn't thinking on a couple of things. One, rogues lose all of their crit modifiers. We have no lethality. We have no puncturing wounds. We have no plus chance to crit or plus crit damage anymore. And that's where a lot of our damage comes from. And we lose it now. So that's a huge, huge problem. We do get a lot of our regular passives, like Assassination would get, like, its Assassin's Resolve and its improved poisons, like, the stuff that you basically have to have for the spec to work. But that's it. You don't get anything special. The only thing that was, like, they added 2 things. Okay, I take that back. They added 2 things to all the trees, and that's Relentless Strikes and Fleet-Footed. Here's the thing, Fleet-Footed doesn't affect healing anymore. So yeah, minor little nerfs everywhere that's just adding up to a lot. And I know a lot of people say it's like rogues are overpowered, they're overplayed, blah blah blah. But honestly, forcing cooldowns on a rogue, if you can force them, they're in trouble. Like, unless they can put out more pressure than you can, once that evasion or whatever they're popping is up, then you can most likely kill them. Like, force it, switch off, start killing their partner, and then just do a hard switch back, and the next thing you know, the rogue has exploded. Like, I've seen it happen plenty of times in arenas. It's not exactly the most fun. But basically, there is my preview to the new Cataclysm talents. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, whatever you want to do. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions through any means that you want to throw them at me. Thanks again. Have a great day, and yeah, take care.